Hey everyone, today is Wednesday, May 6th. Today we're going to continue our learning on customary measurement. Today we're going to be learning about capacity. And capacity is just how much of something it can hold. And with capacity, we're going to be talking about liquids. So for our conversions today, we're going to have some new learning. And I'm going to show you a little picture that you can draw to help. And also this conversion sheet is the same anchor chart as yesterday. And the cool thing with measurement is you can use those anchor charts for customary measurement, and as we get into metric measurement later, you can use those at any time when you're doing conversions. So they'll definitely help you. But today we have to know that 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts, 1 quart is equal to 2 pints, and 1 pint is equal to 2 cups. And if you were able to print that sheet out from yesterday, awesome. If you weren't able to, again, you may want to write those conversions down on a piece of paper because you're going to be using those for about the next week. On my other marker board today, I actually drew a little picture. And this is the conversion that helps me when I'm dealing with gallons. So this is always a little hint when we're actually in school and I'm telling my kiddos the last several years, we actually always draw this picture on our paper every time we do customary measurement and when we're working with conversions for capacity. I always have them draw a really large capital G, and that capital G stands for the gallon. And inside the gallon, you can see that there are 4 Q's, and obviously the Q's stands for quarts. So this picture just lets me know that 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts. And then you can also see inside each quart, there are 2 P's. Obviously, 1 quart equals 2 pints, so that's why there are 2 P's inside of 1 quart. And you can see that every one of the quarts has 2 P's inside of them. And then last, inside the P's, there are 2 C's. So for every pint, there are 2 cups. And what that allows me to do, it better allows me to see how many cups might be in gallons or how many pints might be in gallons. So this is a cool little conversion that you can actually use. You can draw it on your paper every time. But this is a cool little chart that will help you with some of those conversions. So maybe you want to draw it and kind of keep it close. If not, you have the other conversion sheet that you can look at, but I think it's a good visual. So what we're going to work on today is very similar to yesterday. We're going to be working on converting how many gallons go to quarts, how many pints go to quarts, maybe how many cups are in gallons. So you're going to have to think about your input and output tables just like yesterday. And if you think about yesterday's learning, whenever we went from something that was big to something that was small, we actually had to use multiplication. When we went from a small to a large, we used the opposite, or division. And you're going to do the exact same thing today. So you can see on my chart today, my first one is I have 1 gallon. And if I remember, I know that 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts. So I'm going to, right away, I know that this is going to be just times 4. And 1 times 4 equals 4. Now you can see for the next equation, I am given the quarts. So I'm given the smaller amount, and I have to figure out how many gallons are inside. So because I'm going from a small to a big, I'm actually going to have to divide. And if I remember that 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts, my conversion for this would just be, instead of multiplying by 4, I would actually do divide by 4. And I know that 12 divided by 4 is 3. So if I have 12 quarts, I know that would be equivalent to 3 gallons. And then my last example I have today is I'm given 8 gallons, and because I'm given the bigger amount and I'm going to the smaller amount, I have to use multiplication. So again, I would just do times 4 for this one, and 8 times 4 I know is 32. And then I have another example I'm going to do, and this time I'm just going to go from quarts to pints. So again, I'm going to use my conversion chart. I see up here that 1 quart is equal to 2 pints, or I can see inside my 1 quart here, there are 2 P's, so that helps me as well. So I know, again, if I'm going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit, as in the first example, I have to use multiplication. And in this case, I'm multiplying by 2. So obviously 1 times 2 is 2. And I'm actually going to jump down here to the bottom one because, again, I'm given quarts, my bigger amount, and I'm going to multiply times 2. And I know that if you have 5 quarts, you would actually have 10 pints. Now, in my middle example, I'm actually given the pints. I'm given the smaller amount, so I actually have to go backwards this time. And when you're going from the smaller to the larger amount, you actually have to divide. Or from the smaller to the bigger, you have to use division. So if I do 6 divided by 2, I know the answer would be 3. So you're going to have a couple tables to fill out some different problems like that. And then you're also going to have these types of problems, which were just like yesterday, where they give you 7 gallons and 2 quarts, and they want you to figure out, well, how many quarts there are. Or I might have so many gallons and so many quarts, and I have to turn it into how many cups there are. So what you want to do first is you want to convert all of these to whatever your answer has to be in. So it has to be in quarts. So if I have 7 gallons, well, I have to go to my equation or my picture, and I know that one big G has 4 quarts inside of it. So if I have 7 gallons, I would just do 7 times 4, because 1 gallon is equivalent to 4 quarts. So I know that 7 gallons is really 28 quarts. And I'm just going to add the other 2 quarts that are already there. So 28 quarts plus 2 quarts would just be 30 quarts. Now the bottom one is obviously a little bit more difficult because I'm giving you 18 gallons, I'm giving you 3 quarts, but I want to turn them actually into cups. And I don't have a conversion that just goes from gallons to cups or from quarts to cups. So I'm actually going to use my drawing here to help me figure out. And because I'm going into cups, I'm going to actually figure out, well, how many cups are in a gallon? So if I look at my 1 gallon, I'm just going to count up all of the C's. So I know there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So what this picture shows me, that is in 1 gallon, there are 16 cups. So what I'm going to have to do here is I'm actually going to have to do 18 times 16, and that will tell me how many cups there are. So I'll use my area model over here. So I'm going to break 18 up into 10 plus 8, and then 16 I'll break up into 10 plus 6. I'll draw my boxes to keep my work nice and neat. Wherever I have an addition sign, I have to break it. And then last, put your multiplication sign in the corner. I know that 10 times 10 is 100. I know 10 times 8 is 80. I know 6 times 10 is 60. And last, 6 times 8 is 48. And I'll add all of those up. Let's do 100. I know 60 plus 80 is actually going to be 140, so I'm just going to combine them. And then last I have my 48. So when I add all of those up, I get 288. So 18 times 16 is 288, and that's the amount of cups there are in 18 gallons. So now I'm going to actually do the same conversion now for quarts. I'm going to look at my picture, and I'm going to figure out in how many cups are in a quart. So if I look at my Q, quart, I see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4 cups. So I know my conversion would be for every quart, there are going to be 4 cups. So it would be multiplying by 4. So 3 quarts times 4 would be 12. And now I'm just going to add my 288 cups and my 12 cups, and I'm going to get a total of 300 cups for that problem. So 18 gallons and 3 quarts, if you add them together, that would actually be equivalent to 300 cups. Obviously, it's a lot of them. So what you're going to work on today is basically the same thing. You're going to have some input-output tables to work on. You're going to have some conversions like this, where you're going to go from 1 or 2 different conversions to another one. And then last, they're going to put some word problems in there. And the word problems are exactly like this. The only difference is, obviously, these aren't in words. They're just written out for you. So good luck today on your conversions. I think you guys will do very, very well. Just remember your little conversion charts. This is awesome right here. So if you can, draw it really big on a piece of paper. one big G. Inside are 4 Q's because 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts. Inside 1 Q are 2 P's because 1 quart is equal to 2 pints. And inside each P, 1 pint is equal to 2 cups. So each P has 2 C's inside of it. So this is a great little tool that will help you today when you're working on your conversions. If you do get stuck or you're having difficulty, please send me a private message through Google Classroom, and I will get back to you as soon as I see it. You guys have my email address also. Some of you guys have actually called me on the phone as well. If you're really, really struggling, just ask mom or dad, whoever's with you, if that's okay, and give me a call, and I will give you guys a hand and help you out. So good luck today, guys, and I will see you tomorrow for the next video.